Welcome to the Writer's Life, the place where you get the sight, sound, smells, taste of my particular writer's life, and where I hope this video doesn't shut off on me. My camera doesn't shut off on me before I'm done with my broadcast. Let's see. It's also the place where you get the truth. Smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that bell for notifications so that you don't miss out on one major league exciting video. I want to go back to the zen of the writer's life rather than the how-tos. Kind of like I was doing yesterday in that horrible live stream I put together, which I didn't know what the deuce I was doing. But anyway, I keep talking about like not having to be at the whim or subject to the controls of any bookstore, publisher, agent, whatever. And I can't get the importance of that through enough to you. Hope that sentence made some sense, because it sounded like a bunch of jumbled garbage to me. But anyway, you get what I'm saying. I remember at one point, I'm going back almost like 20 years, where like I had an agent and like I sent in a copy of like Moonlight Falls. Maybe not 20 years, but close to it. And it took months to get like a response from this agent, because agent I had previously had pulled an Elvis and left the business. But anyway, and so finally, the agent calls like, "Oh yeah, I'm really into it," and it's a really great agent. I go down to New York City and we discuss the book, and I'm going to sell this for you, and it's a really major agency. I'm not going to mention who it is. And I'm like, oh, good, everything's solved. I'm going to get this huge deal again and all this stuff or whatever. Anyway, she totally blows it. Gets not a single offer. I'm right back where I started. In the meantime, I had been working on another novel. I hand that in. She's like, oh, send me a paper copy. I don't want to like have to copy it here. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me, right? Like, go F yourself. So anyway, and then like later on, I get this call from like her underling, and he's like, well, you're a good writer, but just it's not timely right now, whatever. Some snotty kid. Anyway, that whole thing took like 2 or 3 years. And so during that 2 or 3 year period, I was making like nothing, and just busting my ass and making nothing. And it ended up in a failed marriage. And can you blame her? And all this stuff. Everybody harping on me to get a job and all this sort of stuff. It's over. And unfortunately, a lot of writers like buy into that crap. And they're like, well, maybe it is over. Maybe I do have to get a job and all that. But not this guy. This guy held steadfast to his beliefs, and I didn't know how I was going to do it, but I knew that one day there was going to come a time where I was not going to be beholden to these agents in their ivory towers. I was not going to be beholden to these publishers way up in their Bertelsmann ivory towers. I was not going to be beholden to some bookstore snob who's like, you can do a book signing perhaps with another few authors present, and you can stand in the back, and you can, So I wasn't going to be beholden to any of those people. And of course, when the independent movement happened, that was a big leap forward for me achieving my goal, even though I still worked with publishers and still working with them today, certain ones. But this is how far I've come. I've not only sold almost 1 million books, or I might even be at about 1 million books since like 1919, since like 2010, 2011. Like my new release, Moonlight Kills, I've probably, I don't know how many copies I've moved, but I've moved a lot over various marketplaces, and it hit a bunch of the Amazon bestseller lists and stuff like that, but and Barnes and Noble top 100 and all that, top 50 in Barnes and Noble, and Kobo like top 10. That's easy though. But you get what I'm saying. But like I'd never had to like hit a bookstore up, I never had to call my agent to try to make the publisher do something for me. I never had to. The only thing I've been doing is going back and forth with the publisher with like photo snapshots of like how things were improving, like every hour, every day, and like at one point I'm beating Harlan Coben, whom I love, by the way. He's a great guy. And I'm like, take that, Harlan. And this is in a text to my publisher, who unfortunately is sick with COVID. So he's under the weather, but his staff is, they're getting the message too. So I'm thankful. But anyway, the point is, like, I took charge of that marketing campaign, and with their cooperation, because they could have said like, no, we're not going to do this. We're going to do it our way. But I took charge of it, and they're absolutely, you go with it, Vince, and it's turned out to be really successful. Now they have like 2 or 3 more books of mine they're going to do. I got another book with Suspense Publishing. They will take my cue when it comes to promotion as well. And I have tons of books and short thrillers and short stories coming out on my own that obviously I control. So anyway, I've reached that point where I'm in total control. No, I'm not reliant on any bookstore. I'm not reliant on any agent. I'm not reliant on any publisher. I'm reliant only on one person, one individual, and that's myself. The buck stops here. Ciao, ciao. Talk to you tomorrow.